Well, just finished my first week of school, and feels like I've been there for a long time already. um, the kids are just like they were the first week. There's definitely a few behavior problems, but overall, out of the 21 of them, they're really good. Kind of a chatty bunch, but for the most part, they really listen to Mr. Troutner and get their work done. And I guess with most kids that go to that school, they are very loving and like to talk to you, like to get your attention, and guess anything exciting that happened. I can't really think of anything that out of the ordinary. They're really cracking down on PSSA prep, doing a lot of practice problems. Specifically this week was for reading. So they were going over how to respond to a prompt. So they would read a little blurb about something and then have to respond to it. And Mr. Troutner is really good about giving them the steps to kind of formulate a paragraph. It doesn't seem to come too easily to a lot of them, but giving them a step-by-step process about how to write it seemed to really be helpful. What else happened? I realized how far behind in math they are as a group. They're struggling to even still add. I mean, they know how to do it, but it's like they still get caught up. And in fourth grade, it seems pretty bad. And it was funny because I was being in the second grade and OLV in State College. The curriculums almost seemed like they were matched up. What my second graders at OLV were doing probably could be used in the fourth grade, and most of the kids would be able to do it, and but not think it was the easiest thing in the world too. So seeing that the math was that far behind, reading is all over the place in that classroom, which I knew from the week that I was there before, but I didn't realize how separated it was. I've been working this week with a little boy named Zion, who has been formally not diagnosed, but he definitely has a learning disability for reading. He's at high kindergarten, low first grade level of reading. He's still getting tripped up on, really common sight words like could and can, and he's really far behind with it. And he's funny when he reads, he'll look at the word and immediately look at me and say it. But it's like he's not using his phonics. He's not doing the words phonetically, and it's made me really think about what is the best strategy to get them back on track with that. Like, the only thing that I could think about right now is just repeating and keep showing them these words, and doing stories repetitively, like having him read it over and over. And comprehension is just a whole nother ball game because he's struggling just reading the words, so comprehension isn't even there. So he does go to some special ed classes. He would be way behind and have absolutely no idea what was going on if he was in Mr. Troutner's class all day. But he's a tricky one because when he is in Mr. Troutner's class, he wants him to participate in everything. But he's really quiet, and he's not a disruption, and he just kind of sits there and will stare at whatever is in front of him, but not really, he's not engaged at all. Like, it's just kind of like a blank stare, but there's too many other things going on in the room to focus on him too much. So he's definitely the example of the quiet kid getting left behind, while, the behavior disruption in the classroom is hogging up all the time. And behavior disruptions, there's one kid in particular, his name is Miguel, and he is definitely the behavior problem of the classroom. He's very street smart, and when he doesn't get something, his first reaction is to, mess around, flick things around the room, or make noise, or be obviously not participating. If we're reading something, if we're doing math problems, he has his book out, holding it in front of his face, like doodling to get attention. And Mr. Troutner said that he comes from a really, really tough background, which is hard because, I don't know, when you look at a lot of those kids, you realize how much they're dealing with already. So sometimes you have to take a step back and not get so angry at them. But the way Mr. Troutner handles his classroom, I think, is awesome. And his expectations for the kids are super high, and he doesn't let a lot of things slide. Or if homework's not done, he doesn't shoo it off and say, okay, we'll just finish it. He gets upset with them, and he lets them know. And I really like that, and I would want to do that if I had a class like that. So, yeah, that was week 1. I've done a couple lessons, well, not really lessons. I've gone over a few worksheets, gone over homework with them. But next week I will be starting to do most of the reading. Mr. Troutner wants me to take over, well, not take over, but start doing more with their trophies book, which is their reading comprehension vocabulary stuff. So I'm excited to do that, keep me busy, and get me into teaching everything. So that was my week 1.